Hi, today we'll be presenting our client brief on the topic of swimming for fitness in Australia amongst middle-aged men. So, our purpose is to raise awareness concerning swimming as a form of fitness amongst middle-aged men. This is because we are concerned that Australian men are not currently getting sufficient daily activity. The Department of Health has found that 1 in 3 adults receive less than 2 hours of exercise per week. This counts as being insufficiently active. 14.8% of adults were also found to have no exercise at all. Of that population, more than half were men. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, men have shown a negative trend in physical activity as they age after they turn 24. This translates to nearly 70% of Australian adults, which is almost 12 million, being either sedentary or having low levels of physical activity. We believe our organization relates most with the archetype of the everyday man/woman. As a government entity, we strive to be fair, useful, and functional to our target publics. This falls in line with the definition of the everyday man. We hope to solve health-related issues, specifically those related to sedentary lifestyles, obesity, and physical injury. This is because we find that certain common diseases and physical injury are easily preventable with sufficient physical activity, which is something swimming can achieve. Our approach is to get inactive and uninterested middle-aged men into fitness by highlighting the rehabilitative and accessible aspects of the sport.
Through interviews we conducted, we came to the conclusion that our target audience would be 40 to 50-year-old men. So Robert is our target audience. Meet Robert. He's a 45-year-old who works for a construction management company. He spends most of his days overlooking different job sites. He's been with the company for a number of years and has now worked his way up into a managerial position. He finishes work around 4 p.m. every day and heads home after work. He isn't particularly active, but he does walk around partially as part of his job, but he would like to be a bit more active. He loves to hang around with his mates and have a few beers, but has noticed the wear and tear on his joints due to gaining some excess weight for his most recent sedentary lifestyle. He's a father of 3 children, with all of them in their late teens now, and is finding now the time that he can be interested in a few more hobbies and possibly be a bit more active. He lives in the suburbs with his family, and he has a recreation centre nearby, which also has a swimming facility within it. During his youth, he played a significant amount of footy for his local team. He used to jog a bit here or there. As the years progressed, especially after he had kids, Rob has been caught up with not being too active. His joint pain and not being as fit as he used to be has led him to want to be a bit more active, but is hesitant. He's interested in exploring an activity that's beneficial to his health, but also not going to cause him any further injury to his body. He has recently found himself looking for ways to relax and escape the hustle and bustle of life. As just discussed, our primary focus is middle class man who's aged 40 to 50, and the difference between our primary focus and our secondary focus is that our primary focus is not currently active, and we do want them to get active and use swimming as a way of exercising. Our secondary focus is middle class man as well, but he's now aged 35 to 45, so a little bit of a younger age bracket. His children are likely to be younger, and he's active in other forms of exercise, so going for jogs, being physical currently, but we would like them to choose swimming as a form of exercise over their current one that they're doing, so whether it be running or jogging.
3 months after our ad release, we hope that it can raise awareness about swimming for fitness among 90% of our target, followed by February 2021. At that moment, our ad have educated 70% of middle-aged men that swimming can help you to relax. After a couple of months, in August of 2021, our interesting, unique, and memorable ad will build the likability among 40% of middle-aged men. In September of 2021, our ads will make 25% of middle-aged men begin to interest in swimming than other sport. Because after they see our ads, they know that swimming have a lot of benefit. Next, in March of 2022, Our ad have encouraged 20% of our target audience that they will try to swim. And after they try, they will feel it for themselves that swimming have a good effect for their body. Lastly, by May 2022, our ads have encouraged 5% of our audience, which is middle-aged men, to choose swimming as their routine. And with this, hopefully Australian middle-aged men have a healthier body. We decide our SMART adjective take 19 months because based on our interview, many of them already know the good effect of swimming. So hopefully with our ads, it make them more confident to choose swimming as their sport.
So in our story, we are set in an office space, and the office space is full of people. It's super hectic. It's like it's deadline day. Papers are being thrown around. People are freaking out, and then the camera pans to a guy sitting at his desk, being just super calm and tranquil. The camera will then pan so we see things from his perspective. So when we see the office from his perspective, the office is filled with water and the office is underwater. And people are trying to do their job while swimming around, trying to communicate, but you know how it sounds when you're trying to talk underwater. It's impossible. And everything is also moving really slow. And then we zoom back in on the guy and we see him doing a lap in the pool at his gym. Being again tranquil, learning that the water keeps him calm under stressing situations.
Now, in regards to the platform, it's important to understand that there are many possible ways that we could address it. So the difference in platforms are important so they incorporate and work well with the story and the campaign that we're aiming for, which is to raise awareness around swimming for fitness in regards to middle-aged men in particular, as they don't view fitness and swimming together. They don't regularly use swimming as a thing. So ways that we could encourage socializing like them and encouraging them to view swimming as a healthy, beneficial thing and to market it towards them by showing them freedom would be with a video or billboard or a banner from one of our shorts in the film. And a video billboard, we could have stills and quick snippets of our film that we're planning on making, which would encourage them and make them realize how it would benefit them and would coincide with our purpose and objectives, along with the story that Monica's done. Another thing is that we could have a campaign that makes them feel more involved, such as for every kilometre that they swim, they receive certain rewards depending on the type of person and what they could choose from a list of things. That could encourage them to get their mates involved as well, and in turn create a wider audience of people that in one time get awareness from it. Other things could be sporting events and charities. Sporting events and charities are important because people, men particularly in their middle age, either already have children and that would help them be able to get involved as well. So it creates a community atmosphere and makes them feel like they're doing a good job in the community. And other things that they could do that we could use as a platform is printed advertisements in magazines and newspapers. That's particularly important as middle-aged men we've found to regularly read either the newspaper or men's magazines. So if we had advertisements in the magazine to show how fitness, how swimming amongst that can create a sense of freedom and fitness, that would also be great. Printed advertisements are probably going to be one of our biggest platforms, and it's one of the biggest platforms because it's much more easy for everybody in a certain age group to have access to these things as opposed to a video billboard or banner, which can sometimes miss the mark.
Hopefully, with our strategy, we can approach Australian middle-aged men to have a healthier lifestyle. It's time to bring this presentation to a close. Thank you.